Hello and welcome to our video on 10 letters that never got delivered but would have changed history. Throughout history, letters have played a crucial role in shaping events and influencing decision-making. However, there have been instances where letters never reached their intended recipient, leading to missed opportunities and even tragic outcomes. Today, we'll be taking a look at some of the most significant letters that never got delivered. The Lost Love Letter of Napoleon. In 1796, Napoleon Bonaparte wrote a love letter to his lover Josephine, but the letter never reached her. The contents of the letter are unknown, but it's believed that it was a passionate love letter that would have changed the course of history had it been delivered. The missing letter from King George III. In 1775, King George III wrote a letter to the American colonies offering a peaceful resolution to the conflict that led to the American Revolution. Unfortunately, the letter never arrived, and the fighting continued, leading to the formation of the United States of America. The unsent letter of Robert E. Lee. In 1862, Confederate General Robert E. Lee wrote a letter to the Confederate Secretary of War, outlining his plans for the upcoming Battle of Antietam. However, the letter was lost, and Lee's plans were never executed, leading to a significant defeat for the Confederate Army. The Lost Letter of Alexander Hamilton. In 1797, Alexander Hamilton wrote a letter to his close friend John Laurens, expressing his opposition to slavery and his plans for the abolition of slavery in the United States. However, the letter was never delivered, and Hamilton's views on slavery were never widely known. The unsent letter of Anne Frank. In 1944, Anne Frank wrote a letter to her pen pal in the United States, describing her life in hiding and her hopes for the future. However, the letter never arrived, and Anne and her family were later discovered by the Nazis and sent to a concentration camp, where Anne died. The missing letter from Amelia Earhart. In 1937, Amelia Earhart wrote a letter to her husband, detailing her plans for her historic flight around the world. However, the letter never arrived, and Earhart's plane disappeared, leaving her fate and the details of her final flight a mystery. The unsent letter of Vincent van Gogh. In 1890, Vincent van Gogh wrote a letter to his brother Theo, describing his struggle with mental illness and his desire to create art that reflected the beauty of the world. However, the letter was never sent, and Van Gogh later died by suicide. The Lost Letter of Martin Luther King Jr. In 1964, Martin Luther King Jr. wrote a letter to a young student, encouraging him to continue his education and pursue his dreams. However, the letter never arrived, and King was assassinated just 4 years later. The unsent letter of Mahatma Gandhi. In 1948, Mahatma Gandhi wrote a letter to his friend Jawaharlal Nehru, expressing his concerns about the rising tensions between Hindus and Muslims in India. However, the letter was never sent, and Gandhi was assassinated later that year. The missing letter from John F. Kennedy. In 1963, John F. Kennedy wrote a letter to the Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev, proposing a joint mission to the moon as a way to ease Cold War tensions. Unfortunately, the letter never reached Khrushchev, and Kennedy was assassinated later that year. Letters have the power to change history, but their impact can be lost if they never reach their intended recipient. The stories of these 10 letters demonstrate the importance of communication and the impact of missed opportunities. It's a reminder to us all to ensure our messages are delivered and to cherish the power of words to shape our world. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.